What's up, YouTube, Yu Galaxy? And for my next episode of Deck Talk, I am going to be doing Prophecy. Now, Prophecy is a very important deck in our meta right now, second only to Dragon Ruler. Now, what does this deck do? This deck has a boss monster in the form of High Priestess of Prophecy, a ridiculous search card in the form of Spellbook of Judgment, and a lot of mini search cards. It also has ways to control the game through cards like Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer and Jowgen the Spiritualist, and it also plays effect better. So, if you run into this deck at locals, you need to know what to do and what it's going to try to do in Game 1, so you can potentially combat this deck. Now, this deck plays to search all of its spell cards and just win based on controlling the game. Ways it does this are cards like Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Spellbook Magician of Prophecy is a monster that when it's normal, or flip face up I believe, you can add one spell card from your deck to your hand. So, you can use that card to add its other searcher, Spellbook of Secrets. Spellbook of Secrets does the same thing, except you can't add Spellbook of Secrets, and you can only use one per turn. So, still a very good card, still a very powerful card. Their other, I would consider a main card, is Spellbook of the Master. This card allows them to reveal one card in their hand, one Spellbook card in their hand, and copy any Spellbook card in their graveyard's effect. So they can use this card to copy Spellbook of the Secrets, add whatever they need. Now, their best card is Spellbook of Judgment. Now, if you're going to go into a tournament and play against a Prophecy deck, you need to know what this card does. Spellbook of Judgment allows them, for every spell card they activate after resolving Spellbook of Judgment, in the end phase, they can search from their deck to their hand Spellbook spell cards equal to the number of spell cards activated that turn. Just spell cards. It doesn't matter if they're spell cards, Monster Born, Dark Hole, whatever. It's also a quick play, so they can use it on your turn as well if you're playing against it. It also special summons one spellcaster type monster from their deck, or your deck if you decide to play it, with a level equal to or less than the amount of spell cards activated. So if they activate 3, they can special summon a level 3 spellcaster type monster. One of the main deck combos the deck has is using Spellbook of Judgment to get into its Justice of Prophecy. Justice of Prophecy's effect is that when it is on the field, if you activate a Spellbook spell card that turn, you can tribute it to add from your deck to your hand one level 5 or higher, light or dark, spellcaster type monster. The target for this is High Priestess of Prophecy, their boss monster. Now, they also play cards like Spellbook of Life, which is a form of monster born for them, Spellbook of Crescent, which is another searcher for them, Spellbook of Fate, which is their monster removal, and they play Spellbook of Wisdom, which is kind of their Forbidden Lance. When you flip it, you can decide if one spellcaster type monster you control is unaffected by spells or traps for the rest of the turn. So, it's a less easily utilized Forbidden Lance. It also plays 3 Spellbook of Power. I think I didn't say that. Power. Power is 2 Spellbook of Power, sorry. I don't know if I said 2 or 3. Spellbook of Power is just an attack boost, and if that monster destroys a card, you get to draw a card. So if you equip that onto a High Priestess of Prophecy, which has 2500 attack, and you attack into a monster and destroy it, you can draw a card, which is very good. Now, they also play 2 Spellbook of Eternity. Wow, I'm blanking on what that card does. Look up Spellbook of Eternity. And Then some players play One Day of Peace. I mean, there's some like deciding to do in that, but not much. I mean, the deck is pretty set in stone. Trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I did. It also plays in the form of it sometimes plays traps. It's not a trap heavy deck, so if you play against this deck, I would recommend taking out MSTs if you're maining them. It's just they're not good against it. They don't play enough to say so that really makes MST worth it. They also sometimes they'll play Safe Zone. Sometimes they'll play Wabaku. I've seen a combo of the Solemns with Wabakus and Safe Zones. You might run into those. I don't know. It's not a back heavy deck though. You don't need MSTs against it. Other than that, what are their plays? Well, they can get Jougans and Kaikus. Also, they can get those through Spellbook of Judgment, which is really good because if they need to just finish off an E-Dragon player, it's a good way to do it. So that's what those do. I mean, Jougan is I think it's neither player can special summon monsters. And you can do something to destroy all special summon monsters on the field. So it's very good. And you cannot chain cards to its effect. So if you don't Valor it, and they say, I want to activate effect, if you don't have effect Valor, you cannot chain a card like Compulse, because it doesn't have to be face up on the field for its effect to resolve. So don't let them get a Jougan on you if you can help it. Kaiku, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it does, but your opponent can't remove cards from the graveyard. 1800 attack, I believe 1800 defense. I don't know about that. I just know it's attack. And these are all spellcaster type monsters. So, also, Justice Power is a nice combo because you can essentially get a +2 off that. Just attack with Justice, draw a card. In the end phase, get the Priestess to your hand. So, it's nice. So that's what the deck does. And High Priestess of Prophecy, the way you get that on the field is by revealing 3 Spellbook spell cards in your hand, and then you can special summon it. And then it has a Hyperion, destroy a card on the field by removing a spell card effect. It's, in my opinion, it's much, much better than Hyperion, seeing as its effect can be used much more consistently than Hyperion. Some people are able to drop a Hyperion early in Agents, and then they're stuck not being able to use the effect. Spellbooks doesn't run into this problem. It really doesn't. They can use it at any time they want. Through that, it being a level 7, they can make Big Eyes and Draco Sacks, so watch out for that. I don't think it's a common play for them to do that, but having the ability to make a Big Eye this format, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I've seen fields with 5 Big Eye on it, 4 or 5 Big Eye. It's just ridiculous. I don't think the deck does too much else than that. I mean, it's not an explosive deck. Someone wrote an article on that. I'm blanking. It's just not explosive. E-Dragons are explosive. That deck's not. Now, how do you play against it? It's one of the easiest decks to side against. Eradicator Epidemic Virus murders it. It absolutely murders it. You flip up EEV, tribute something, call spells. A lot of the time they'll scoop, because they don't play enough monsters, so they'll normally just lose in those 3 turns. Other than that, you can side cards like Droll and Lockbird. Just shut off them from adding to hand. The deck is able to search very consistently, so just shut off them adding to hand. Thunder King Ryo does the same thing, and it's not a small monster. 1900 attack is pretty big. So as long as they don't have power, only card that can get over Thunder King is High Priestess, and the odds of them opening with Priestess being live, it's not bad. It's also not great if they have to commit a Priestess early. Then Imperial Iron Wall, just shut off effects, because they can't use Fate under Wall, they can't use Priestess effect under Wall, they can't I don't think they can use Life Underwall. I think they have to banish something for that. And then there's just one of my favorites, Macrocosmos. I'm a Macro Rabbit player, so of course I love this card. Just shut off them from getting stuff in the grave. Shut off that Spellbook of the Master. Shut off that Spellbook of Fate. Shut off the Grand Tower. The Eternity, the Life. It just does so much. But that's the way you can play the deck. That's the way you can play against the deck. Thank you, YouTube. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.